Hi, I'm Mark Pack, editor of Lib Dem Newswire, and welcome to this, the latest in my little video series trying to explain some of the things the party does and why. Last time I talked about the importance of targeting, not only at general elections but also at local elections as well. So I thought this time I would talk about an important related subject which sometimes people see as being a little bit in tension with targeting, or even maybe contradictory to targeting, and that is the importance of standing in as many elections as we can, to try and stand in every council ward at normal election time and to try to contest every council by-election in particular. There are several different reasons why this is really important, and the first of those, perhaps the most virtuous, is simply democracy. Democracy functions when people who have different political views put those choices forward to voters at election time, and voters get to choose between them. It's a really important part of democracy to stand and have our name on the ballot paper. And even if that's all you do, if you don't sort of go out and do much campaigning, etc., you're still making the basic elements of democracy work, which is really important. And something should add, thank you, if that's what you've done. The second reason why standing as often as possible is important is not only for democracy, but specifically for voters. There are out there, for most parties, voters in every ward and every bit of the country, at least a few voters who actually want to vote for the party. And it's really almost can come over as quite rude to voters if they go along to vote at a polling station, or they get their postal ballot paper through the post, and the party that they really want to vote for isn't there. If the message they get is, nah, you can't vote for the people you want to vote for, that's not a nice thing to say to voters, and it's quite right that voters should be given a choice. And it's incumbent on us to make sure that one of those choices that voters therefore have is the choice of liberal democracy. And one of the reasons I feel quite strongly about the importance of this issue is I used to, many years ago, deal with some of the communications from voters on polling day at Lib Dem HQ in central London. And it's quite eye-opening just how many people are really irate and annoyed if they go to vote and discover there isn't a candidate for the party they support on the ballot paper. And it's down to us not to annoy, not to aggravate voters in that way. So, standing as often as we can, it's good for democracy, it's good for the voters, it's also good for us. It's good for us in part because one of the big challenges the party faces is building a long-term core vote of loyal supporters of the party who stick with us through thick and thin, because our current core vote is much, much smaller than Labour's core vote and much, much smaller than the Tories' core vote. And that makes it harder for us to win at election time. It makes us more vulnerable to bad times and all sorts of other problems that flow from that. But the only way we can make people long-term core supporters of us, loyally turning out to vote for us, is if we give them the opportunity to. One surefire, guaranteed way of stopping people being loyal to us in election after election is if come an election time there's no Liberal Democrat, and our message basically is, sorry, go away, you've got to vote for someone else this time. So it's not good for our long-term prospects. It's also not good for our shorter-term prospects as well, because standing, even where we don't really have much of a chance of winning, always helps us get a little bit more information. We discover how many votes we've got. Maybe we're a little bit stronger in an area than we expected. Maybe we're a little bit weaker. That's useful information for the longer term. It can help prepare the ground for maybe an unexpected council by-election that comes up. But also, and this applies particularly for council by-elections, is standing, even when we don't think we've got much of a chance of winning, there's always an opportunity to train and to test and to learn. Maybe the local party's a little bit short of people who know how to run Connect on polling day. Maybe the local party doesn't have that many people who are familiar with getting all the paperwork involved in being an election agent correct. Maybe the local party hasn't got that many people with much experience at canvassing. Any of those things you can try out in a completely unwinnable contest and learn a little bit from it. Indeed, it's perhaps easier in some ways to learn from that. If you're putting together the paperwork to get a council candidate nominated for the first time ever, brilliant, because that's a really useful skill and we need more people in the party with that skill and experience. Bit less pressured, obviously, to do it if it's a council by-election where we know we're not really going to win than if the first time you do it is in a really important marginal contest and it's a councillor who's been a councillor for years and years, and then the pressure's really on to get the paperwork right. So, really good idea to take an opportunity that comes with those slightly less pressured occasions to learn and to try out new things and new skills. And of course, those skills will then come in really useful for the next time we're fighting an election where we think we've got a chance of winning. And then the other reason why it's really useful to stand all the time is it's an opportunity to experiment. And again, it can be easier experimenting in that less pressured environment. Maybe perhaps you're in an area that perhaps split maybe 50-50-ish in the European referendum, like the country as a whole, pretty much split down the middle. And you know how much one of our distinctive messages as the Liberal Democrats at the moment is that we want to take Vince Cable's words, offer voters the chance of an exit from Brexit. But you're not quite sure how well that issue will go down. How well will it motivate people at a local election? Perhaps it will, because people are often thinking of a broader national picture, and EU citizens can still vote in our local elections. But maybe you're worried perhaps it will go down a bit too badly with some people, or maybe it won't work that well if people are thinking about more council-focused issues. Well, one way to find out: take the next low-pressured, low-risk environment in which we can do a bit of campaigning, try it out, maybe pick a polling district in which we run quite heavily on the Remain issue in a few leaflets or with some canvassing, and maybe another polling district where we don't do that, and then compare the results in the two and see what we can learn from that. So, in summary, the reason why it's really important to contest as many elections as we possibly can is that it's good for democracy, it's good for voters, and it's good for us. And it's worth remembering when it comes to trying to find as many candidates to put up as possible. A, if you're one of those people who stood in the past to help spread the number of ballot papers on which there are Liberal Democrat names, that's brilliant. Thank you. And remember, when it comes to local elections, you don't have to live in the ward, you have to live in the council area or work in the council area. There are a couple of other ways you can qualify as well, but those are the main two ways. So even if as a local party you're thinking, well, we're really a bit short of people willing to stand, remember to think a little bit more broadly. It may even be somebody who works in the area, who's a member of a neighbouring local party, who can help stand and help make up the numbers. Likewise, if you're struggling a little bit to get enough signatures on the nomination papers to get everyone nominated, 10 signatures that you need in England and Wales, thankfully a rather more straightforward, simpler system in Scotland. Again, maybe ask a neighbouring local party, maybe ask around if anyone's willing to come and help, knock on a few doors to help get those nomination papers sorted, especially at council by-election time when other local parties may well be not quite so busy themselves. So lots of ways we can do things to make it that little bit easier to increase the number of candidates that we stand. And the more we do that, the more democracy benefits, the more voters benefit, and the more we benefit. So I hope you found these reasons convincing. If not, by all means, ping me a message, post up a question or a comment. Very happy to respond to any queries triggered by this video, or indeed any suggestions that you've got for future videos. If you're a Facebook user, please do like the Lib Dem Newswire Facebook page. If you've seen this video on YouTube, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, or if you're watching this on my blog, you can sign up for email digest from my blog. Either way, you'll then get notifications coming your way the next time one of these videos comes out. So once again, thank you very much for listening.